Hi, everybody, and this is Ken Corbin, and welcome once again to another edition of the Manufactured Home Show. This is the program where I have the opportunity to interview the absolute best of the best in our industry, from communities to manufacturers, retailers, suppliers, and today I'm going to be chatting with one of the absolute best retailers in the United States. And as always, if you have any questions, comments, suggestions for future guests, simply drop me an email to ken@callkencorbin.com. And of course, if you'd like to see more about this program, as well as all of the other interviews that we've been able to put together, you can go to my website, callkencorbin.com. And then up in the upper right-hand corner, you'll see the little link that says Manufactured Home Show. You can also go to learnmh.com, which is a division of manufacturedhomes.com. And you'll see a link that says training. Click on the training button and all those will drop down. And finally, both on YouTube, there's a brand new link that's being set up right now called Manufactured Home Show. All of those will be downloaded there. Plus on my business page, Ken Corbin Speaker, and that'll give you all the information as well. But like I said, today we have a very, very special guest. And for the last half a century, Brewer Quality Homes has provided their customers with high quality manufactured homes. And after spending 5 years in the United States Marine Corps, Donnie Brewer became Chief Operating Officer of the company. They're committed to remaining the premier provider of manufactured housing in the Arkansas, Louisiana, and Texas markets. And under his leadership, Donnie has grown the company to include not only Brewer Manufactured Homes, but Red River Home Center, Cypress Manufactured Homes, Shreveport Home Center, Brewer Finance, and Brewer Insurance. He's served 10 consecutive years on the board of the Louisiana Manufactured Housing Association, including his role as president back in 2018. And since 2017, Donnie's been actively involved with a group we're going to learn more about today, which is called the Mobile Home Militia, which includes Jessup Housing, MHM Supply, MHM Financial, MHM Logistics, and 9 additional retail locations across both Texas and Oklahoma. So to say that he's a busy guy, folks, well, that's absolutely an understatement. And with that, I'm pleased to introduce entrepreneur, visionary, an absolute wonderful guy, Mr. Donnie Brewer. Donnie, glad to have you on the program. We're pleased to have you with us today.
Hey, Ken, thank you for having me on. I'm pretty excited about it.
Well, this is wonderful. I've had the opportunity to visit that incredible operation that you had. And let me just ask this question. How long have you guys been at that actual location?
So the main location, the Brewer Quality Homes location was, we moved down here in 1991.
Okay. So you've been there a lot of years. And
a lot of years.
Obviously your success precedes you, and many people obviously look up to you and the things that you've done. But let me ask you this. How did you find yourself, going back to the beginning of your career, how did you find yourself involved with the manufactured housing business?
Well, it was a family business, right? So Brewer Quality Homes started in 1973. My grandfather started it. And it was a very successful business through the 70s and 80s. Even during the downturns, he did real well because he's a very frugal guy, saved money, and made it through some tough times. I'd gotten out of the Marine Corps in 2000, and I'd sold my leave back so I can get out, and I was out of money and needed a job. And my grandfather gave me a job as a salesperson. So I started on the sales floor and did pretty good in sales, and then worked myself up and ended up running the company. So.
Approximately how many employees do you guys have today?
Altogether?
Yes.
350.
Wow, that's quite the operation. And I want to hear more and more about the mobile home militia. That was an interesting thing when I was reading through the information that you had sent and then doing some of my research. What drove you guys to start the mobile home militia in the first place?
So there's a purchasing group of independent dealers that was established in Texas, Louisiana, Oklahoma area by way of just inheriting it. I inherited a position on that group, and it these function of us that would end up talking and hanging out, and really were like-minded, very driven, and wanted to see some things occur. Over the years, we finally had an opportunity to open up a manufacturing facility, and that was Jessup Housing. The reason it's Jessup Housing, obviously, there's a man named David Jessup who's one of our partners that operates it, and we had what we called a rare opportunity to get the best person in the country when it came to running a manufactured home. So that's where it started, was just to run a manufacturing facility. We knew that the folly in a lot of people opening manufacturing facilities was not having distribution, having to go out and organically find distribution. And so we didn't want to do that. We knew that we were good retailers. We were that first, and we knew that we could set up good retail locations. So we started out finding great pieces of property. We consider ourselves in the real estate business because we find good pieces of property. We find franchise owners of those operations own those pieces of property, rent them from us, buy houses from us, and we get our distribution that way.
Um, well, in today's world, though, things have changed dramatically, and especially when it comes to things like diversity. So, as an entrepreneur and as a business leader, what efforts do you take to increase diversity across your businesses?
Well, obviously, and there's a very big difference in trying to be diverse just to be diverse and trying to be diverse to make your business better. Um, I feel like we, as an industry, for so long had stayed in the same kind of white man industry, which there were some very talented people, but we were almost we're almost limiting ourselves because there's this other huge demographic, women, minorities out there that are so talented. So some people that fit into those demographics, not because I wanted it to be diverse, but I felt like the talent pool was deep. And so from there, we look back, and now we've got we've got what I probably, is my knowledge, is the first African American franchise owner in the industry. We've got sales lots that are entirely women. We've got a lot of Hispanic and Latino employees across the board. Probably majority of our employees across the board are. And we look back and we're diverse. We're diverse not because we tried to be diverse. We're diverse because we tried to get the best people and put them in the right places.
It's amazing you mentioned that. I have a client just north of Louisville in southern Indiana, and the owner is a woman. Her accountant or chief financial officer is a woman. Sales staff is women, and they can relate so much better to the predominant buyer in our business, who we know is a woman. And we look across from the Black population to the Hispanic population, and we see exactly what you've described, the changes that we've made as an industry, and it's remarkable. But even with all of these changes, we're all going to be finding challenges moving forward. And from your perspective, Donnie, what do you see as perhaps the largest challenge that you see in your business?
Zoning's a big problem on a retail side, and that bleeds back or rolls back to the manufacturing side. So many areas that you're having this problem with snobs zoning, where municipalities are wanting to get tax revenue, so they're wanting these houses to be, $500,000 homes instead of our product, which appeals to uh, an income segment that doesn't really build those homes or can't build those homes. Then you've got these areas where they've zoned out affordable housing, manufactured housing, and even the lower side of site built housing. And some of the people that are affected of that are having to move into inner cities and move out of the rural areas that really have enjoyed affordable housing. I think it's going to be a big problem, not just for the industry going forward. It's going to be a big part getting adjudicated property, they lose the diversity in their own communities. I think that just like we were talking about diversity in the workplace, diversity makes us always better, makes us better,
Sure.
and then diversity in a community makes the community better. It pulls everybody up.
Yeah, we see that in many of the municipalities, especially in many of the smaller ones. The people that are voted in are assigned the position. They, in many cases, they feel they have to justify their job by going out and finding new ways to put in new restrictions, to add more and more red tape, which makes the cost of people like you and I doing business continue to spike upwards rather than finding ways to eliminate unnecessary or unneeded restrictions so they can expand their tax base in their municipalities, and not just for single family but even for mobile home or manufactured home or lifestyle communities, whatever you want to call them. So many operators today would love to go and expand in areas, but geographically they can't because they're locked out and they're being chokehold by restrictions that are in place. It's absolutely crazy. But what about a threat? Do you see any specific threats on the horizon to us that we should be aware of?
Financing is it's a finance driven industry, so finance is always something that we look at. Right now financing's become pretty competitive, and that's good for us, just to the industry. I think that as long as we don't get to a point where we did in the 90s, where financing is such a driver, but it's an unhealthy driver where shipments are influenced by people that shouldn't be getting financed, right? I think that we're going to be okay. So as long as the financing stays at a sustainable rate, growth is a sustainable rate, I think we're going to be good. Long term zoning is a big deal, and it could be a threat. But other than that, I think it's a pretty healthy industry to be in right now.
Yeah, and I agree with you on the financing. It's in many markets I used to say, I can sell as many homes as I can, but if I can't get them financed, if the lenders come in and as they used to say, if they turned off the water, that's a problem. So I absolutely agree. Not only land and home financing, but chattel financing, but we're seeing a shift today. I think we're seeing more and more lenders that are entering the business that are giving us more and more opportunities. And I'll just throw this in. There's many retailers out there today that are beginning to use more and more of the USDA rural development. It's a pain in the butt in many instances, but it's just another opportunity to help somebody to get financing. But in all these years that you've been doing this, and this I think is a great question for someone of your stature with the business. Donnie, what are you most proud of that you've been able to accomplish?
I'm most proud of the people that I've recruited, the people that I've seen come into my company and grow, and those people are now becoming entrepreneurs of their own. There's nothing better than seeing a person come in, work with you for years, learn, and then go on and start their own business. So I guess the network, and the tree, as you might say, of entrepreneurs that's been created. There's I think I counted the other day. There's 14 people that have come through this homes tree, gone out and opened their own businesses, and that makes me proud. I never get upset when I lose an employee to go open their own business.
Well, that's growing your own, and it's like taking the old popsicle. They keep pushing you up, and you're growing, and as well as they're growing, and that's just absolutely this remarkable way of looking at it. That you've helped people to help them have grow your business, and subsequently you've grown these individuals to go out and be the kindred spirit and the entrepreneur and the visionary that you are. And well, let me ask you this. I'm sure there's going to be some people that are going to say, wow, this guy's really smart. He's done all these wonderful things, but how do we get a hold of Donnie Brewer? So how could they reach out to you if they have any questions?
Oh gosh. They could email me at donnie@brewerqualityhomes.com. I am there are things I'm good at, not a lot of things, and one of them I'm not good at it's but that donnie@brewerqualityhomes.com, you can reach out and get a hold of me, especially if you're looking to get into business and you want somebody to put you in business, and right now you're a general manager for one of the big 3 C's. Give me a holler, we'll put you in somewhere.
I think that's a great opportunity because not only can you help them, help you, but down the road, like you mentioned, one of the great things that you've been able to accomplish in your life is helping people to grow and eventually get into their own business. So you're one of the first people that I've talked to in this business, one of the few, I should say, that have taken that outlook. And that's something to be very proud of. And I thank you for that.
Well, if nobody's trying to hire your people, or nobody's leaving to go open up new businesses, then that means you didn't do a good job hiring the first time. And
Right.
so I look at it as a measure of success for myself, is that if these people are going out and opening their own businesses and are successful, and then other dealers, other manufacturers are trying to hire those people, then obviously I'm doing something right.
Yeah. Well, Donnie, thank you again so much for your time today. We appreciate it so much. And everybody, once again, this is Ken Corbin. Today, we've had the wonderful opportunity to talk to Donnie Brewer, Brewer Quality Homes, Manufactured Homes. And Donnie, thank you again. Best of luck continued for you and your company and the mobile home militia in the future.
All right, Ken, talk to you later.
Thanks, Donnie. Bye-bye.